Hello there, it is I, Tim Kern, here with Seaport Streams, Seaport Village's brand new streaming channel, where every week we will bring you concerts, performances, workshops, and on Fridays, storytelling. Today is Friday, April 3rd, so it'll be storytelling with yours truly. Now, this storytelling session is brought to you by Safari Animal Collections, Seattle's very own. So I am on safari looking for butterflies. Now, I am a world-famous lepidopterist, and I have been searching for butterflies all morning. I've got a nose for these sorts of things, and I've been looking, but I haven't seen a butterfly yet. I think they're close, I can tell. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take up the pursuit a little bit later on, but right now, I think I'm going to settle down in a chair and tell you a wonderful story called Mr. Pig Goes on a Picnic. And then after that today will be a magic show. So sit back, have some fun, grab some lemonade, and let's get ready for Mr. Pig Goes on a Picnic. Well, hello everyone, it is I, Tim Kern, and we are here today to do some storytelling. It's Friday, so this is the story of Mr. Pig Goes on a Picnic. Now, Mr. Pig was a very, very shy pig. He was so shy. He had a hard time talking to anyone, and he didn't think that he was handsome at all. Oh no, I'm not handsome at all. Well, Mr. Pig really liked Mrs. Pig, and he wanted to ask her out, but it took him a long time to work up the nerve. Eventually, though, he did, and he went right up to her and he went, Mrs. Pig, Mrs. Pig, will you go on a picnic with me tomorrow? And do you know what Mrs. Pig said? She said, yes! So Mr. Pig was super excited. I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig. I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig. I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig. Oh no! I'm going on a picnic. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna wear? I don't think she'll think I'm very handsome. I don't think she'll like me. Oh no! Mr. Pig was very worried. So worried that he barely slept a wink that night. And he got up really early in the morning. He got himself a picnic basket, filled it with some goodies, and he decided that what he would do was head to Mrs. Pig's house early because she lived on the far side of the forest, and he wanted to make sure that he would not be late. So he got his picnic basket and he started off. He went up a hill and down a hill. You guys better help me out on this. Up a hill and down a hill. Up a hill and down a hill. Until he came upon a cottage. Was it Mrs. Pig's house? No. It was the fox's house. So Mr. Pig, being early and being a very nice pig, thought he'd stop by and say hello to his friend, the fox. So he knocked on his door. Mr. Fox, it's Mr. Pig. Well, Mr. Fox came out and said, hello there, Mr. Pig. How are you and what are you doing in the forest so early in the morning? And Mr. Pig said, I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig, but I'm afraid she's not going to think I'm very handsome. Well, Mr. Fox said, when I go out on a date with people, they think that my tail is very beautiful, long and furry. Do you have a long furry tail, Mr. Pig? And Mr. Pig turned around and said, oh no, I just have this wiggly wobbly little itty bitty one. Oh, she's not going to like me, Mrs. Pig. She's not going to think I'm very handsome at all. So Mr. Fox said, "Don't worry, Mr. Pig, I will loan you my tail, and with my tail, Mrs. Pig will think you're very handsome." So Mr. Fox put his tail right on the little Mr. Pig's tail. And look at that. It was beautiful and big. And Mr. Pig said, "Oh boy, Mrs. Pig is going to love me now. I've got a very beautiful tail. She will think I'm very handsome. Thank you, Fox. Thank you." Mr. Pig said thanks to the fox, and he left, grabbed his picnic basket, and he went up the hills and down the hill and up the hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill until he came to another cottage. Was this Miss Pig's cottage? Oh, no. No, it was not. This was the cottage of Mrs. Zebra. So Mr. Pig, seeing that he was still early, and being a very nice pig, he thought he'd stop by and say hi to Miss Zebra. So he rang the doorbell, and Miss Zebra answered and said, "Hello, Mr. Pig, how are you? And what are you doing in the forest so early in the morning?" Well, Mr. Pig said, "I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig this morning, and she's going to think I'm so handsome because I have a very beautiful tail." And Miss Zebra said, "Oh, I don't know about that. When I go out on dates, people think my stripes are very, very beautiful. Do you have any stripes, Mr. Pig?" And Mr. Pig said, "Oh, no, I don't have any stripes. Oh, Miss Pig will not think I'm very good looking, not very handsome. She will not like me. Oh, no, what would I do?" Miss Zebra said, "Don't worry, Mr. Pig. I will loan you one of my stripes." And she gave Mr. Pig one of her stripes. And she said, "You look very nice there, Mr. Pig, now." And Mr. Pig said, "I feel very nice. I feel beautiful. I've got a beautiful tail and beautiful stripes. Mrs. Pig will really love me now. She'll think I'm very handsome." So he said, "Thank you, Miss Zebra," and off he went. He got his picnic basket. He went up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill until he arrived in front of a cottage. Was it Miss Pig's cottage? Oh, no, it was Mr. Lion's cottage. Yes, Mr. Lion's cottage. And he was early, so he thought he'd stop by and say hi to Mr. Lion. So he knocked on the door, and Mr. Lion came to the door. "Roar! Who's there?" And he opened the door and he said, "Mr. Pig, what are you doing in the forest so early in the morning?" And Mr. Pig said, "I'm going on a picnic with Mrs. Pig, and I have got a beautiful tail and beautiful stripes, so she will think I'm very handsome." And Mr. Lion said, "Oh, I don't know about a big fuzzy tail or stripes, but when I go out, what really makes the people think I'm king of the beasts is my beautiful mane. Don't you have a beautiful mane, Mr. Pig?" And Mr. Pig said, "Oh, no, I don't have a beautiful mane. I don't have any hair and fur at all. What am I going to do? Mrs. Pig will not think I'm very handsome." Mr. Lion said, "Don't worry, Mr. Pig. You can borrow my mane, and that way she'll think you're very handsome and the king of the beasts." So Mr. Lion took off his mane and put it on Mr. Pig, and he was so happy. He said, "Oh my goodness, look at me. I've got a beautiful mane, a beautiful stripes, and a beautiful tail. Mrs. Pig is bound to think I'm the most handsome thing in the forest." And off he went. He grabbed his picnic basket and he went up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill. Oh, you did very good on that one. Until he arrived at a house. Now, was this Miss Pig's house? Yes, it was. It was Miss Pig's house. So he walked right up and he knocked on the door. And Mrs. Pig, hearing the door, came over, but living by herself out in the forest and being a very smart pig, she decided she would look out her keyhole. Now, her I Spy hole. Now, do any of you have I Spy holes in your doors? Good, I hope you use those as well. So she looked out, and you know what she saw? She saw a monster! She saw a hideous-looking monster with a big hairy tail, funny stripes, and a big mane. And she was so scared, she screamed, "Ah! Ah! There's a monster at my door! If only Mr. Pig were here! He's so brave! He's so handsome! He would protect me and help scare off that monster!" And Mrs. Pig ran into her bedroom, underneath her bed, and she hid. Now, Mr. Pig, having heard her scream and saying there was a monster, he turned around and he looked for the monster. Did he find a monster? No, he didn't. And then he realized, oh my goodness, she thinks I'm the monster because I'm covered in all this stuff. Oh no, what am I going to do? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll return everything I've borrowed. And Mr. Pig ran. He went up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill until he arrived back at whose house? That's right, Mr. Lion. And he said, "Mr. Lion, please, you can have your mane back. I don't think I need it." So he gave the mane back to Mr. Lion. And then he continued up a hill, down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, up a hill, down a hill until he arrived at whose house? That's right, he arrived at Miss Zebra's house. And he knocked and said, "Miss Zebra, I don't need your stripe, but thank you so very, very much," because he's a polite pig. And he gave that back to her and said, "Mrs. Pig already thinks I'm brave and handsome, but thank you for the loan of your stripes." And then he continued on. He went up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill. Oh, my arms are getting tired. Are your arms getting tired? I think they are. Until he arrived at whose house? Fox's house. And what does the fox say? Good, that's close. He actually says, "Check the Carfax." But he answered the door and said, "Mr. Pig, what are you doing back so soon?" He said, "Well, I've come back to give me your tail." And being a polite pig, he said, "Thank you very much for letting me use it. But Mrs. Pig likes me for just what I am, I think. And I'm going to go back just by myself." And then he took off. Oh my goodness, he's gonna go up 9 hills and down 9 hills. Are you ready? He looked at his watch and he said, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to be late if I don't get a hurry on." And so he went. Get ready, here we go. Are you ready? As quick as you can. Up a hill, down a hill, 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 up a hill, down a hill. Until he was exhausted and he arrived back at whose house? That's right, Miss Pig's house. And he knocked on the door one more time. And Mrs. Pig, he said, Mrs. Pig, it is I, Mr. Pig, I'm here to pick you up for a picnic." And Miss Pig came out slowly and she looked out her spy hole and saw her handsome Mr. Pig. And she opened the door and she threw her arms around him and said, "Mr. Pig, I'm so glad you're here. There was a monster here earlier and I was so scared, but now that you're here." And he said, "Don't worry, let's have a great time and go on a picnic." And they got in to their car and they drove out to a picnic and where they had a very, very good time. And Mr. Pig realized for the first time that I should like myself for who I am. And if people don't like me for who I am, well, then they're not really my good friends. And I can look for others. And that's a very good thing to think and to believe in there, Mr. Pig. So go on out there, kids. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you are. Do your very best. And remember, you never know when you're gonna meet your best friend. So meet people. All right, this storytelling session was brought to you by Safari Animal Collection. And we want to say thank you very much. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll be back next week with another story time. I think next week we're going to do some Dr. Seuss. In fact, I've got Dr. Seuss socks on. Sock 1 and sock 2. Getting ready for storytelling next Friday. We'll see you then. This is Tim Kern and Mr. Pig saying goodbye. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Be safe. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Seaport Streams. I'm your host, Tim Kern, and well, today we are going to be having a magic show, and I am going to be your magician. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off by, what's that? Ah, somebody said there's a rabbit under my hat. Nope, there is no rabbit under my hat. I strictly have a hat to keep my hair in place. What do you mean I have no hair? Are you sure? Oh my goodness, this must be a magic hat, because my hair has disappeared. No, actually, the hat is just for doing tricks and things like that. What do you mean there's a... What? What is that? Are you sure it's a rabbit? There was a rabbit under my hat. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put little Hopsy right over here. What do you mean there's more in my hat? There is no more in my hat. You can take my word for it. Remember, I'm a magician. There's more in my hat. Are you sure? Well, let's take a look. And you are correct. There is more. M-O-R-E spells more. Good job. But I think that's it. All right. So let me move this table to the forward. And you say, that's not a very big rabbit? What do you mean that's not a very big rabbit? This rabbit is huge. Just look at how big this rabbit is. Oh, I'm just putting it closer to the camera. Okay, you've got a point there. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We will make ourselves one big rabbit. Are you ready? But we'll need a magic word. What's a good magic word? Did someone say, I want a banana? I want a banana too. But right now, we're going to put this rabbit, put him right in here, and we're going to put the lid on it just like that. A little rabbit turns into a big rabbit. Say, hello, bunny. And the bunny says hi back. All right, so let's get rid of that. And, well, how did I learn magic? That's a very good question. And I'll tell you. How I learned magic was I was going to a shop one day, and, well, I found a very special book. Now, it was a magic book. Has anyone heard of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table? Well, in this particular store that I was in, they had a book of what they call the wizard Merlin. It was Merlin the Magician's book, and here it is right here. Can you believe I have the very book that Merlin the Magician had? And I heard it was made out of a very magical creature. Now, what was a big creature back in those days that the knights had to face? It was a danger among the kingdom. Yes, a dragon. That's exactly right. And what is a dragon? Well, it's a big ugly lizard with very bad breath. Well, I'll tell you what. This, in fact, is a Merlin Magician's thing, and it's made out of... Oh, my goodness, did you see that? I think the dragon is alive. Oh, let's take one more look just to be sure. Oh, no, there's nothing in there. It must have been a trick. What we do have is this. And do you know what this is, kids? What is that?
A $1 bill? How do you know it's a $1? Oh, it has the number 1 on it. Excellent. That's probably a good thing. Now, have you ever seen a $2 bill? You have seen a $2 bill? What number does a $2 bill have on it? A 2. Excellent. I can tell you go to school, and that's very important. I love literacy. All right, here we go. On the count of 3, we are going to change this $1 bill into a $2 bill right in front of your eyes. Now, don't blink. It's going to happen quick. Here we go. We'll say the magic words. I want a banana. Good. 1, 2, 3. I want a banana. And boom, just like that, we unfold the $1 bill. And in fact, it is a $2 bill. Pretty good, huh? You guys like that? Wait a minute. Some of you don't seem that impressed. Now, you don't think this is a $2 bill? What do you think this? Oh, you think it's 2 $1 bills because there's a 1 and a 1? So it's an $11? No, it's just 2 $1 bills. You're right. So we're going to have to do this again. We'll take 2 1s and we're going to fold them up. Don't blink. It's going to happen quick. On the count of 3, we're going to say the magic words. I want a banana. 1, 2, 3. I want a banana. And just like that, the 2 $1 bills turns into a $2 bill. Both sides. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this is a $4 trick. Actually, it cost me $14.50. It's a little more expensive. Think I'm upset? A little bit upset. Every day I look in that bag for the other $10.50, and you know what? It's not there. But I'll tell you what, we'll take this $2 bill. We're gonna fold it up, press it together tightly, say the magic words, I want a banana, and just like that, it's 2 $1 bills, and the $2 bill has completely disappeared. But remember, there's one remember. See, it's not in my mouth, not at all. But we do have 2 1s with a show of hands. Who would like the money? Since I don't see any hands up, I'll put this away. But it was funny when we started because you guys were hollering it. Oh, you're correct. You probably saw the picture of my kids. Here, a picture of my kids right there. I know what you're thinking. They look like baby goats, and they are. All right, we'll put this away. And let's do something else. Now, are you guys good with colors? I hope so. Let me get this off to the side here. And all right, here we go. Now, what I have right here is a little ball. Let's see if you can keep your eye on the little ball. I'm going to place it into this hand right here. I'm going to ask you which hand the little, what color ball is it? Wait a minute. Did some of you say red? You think this is a red ball? This one? Wait a minute. It's pretty obvious to me that this ball is a little black ball. Are you sure? Well, I don't know. I don't want to start rumors, but somebody may be a little colorblind. All right, if it is a red ball, you can tell me what hand it's in, all right? So keep your eye on it. Gonna put it right here. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, where's the red ball? This one or this one? This one or this one? This one, are you sure? Let's take a look. And oh my goodness, you're correct. It's right there. How did you know that? Let's try this one more time. Red ball, gonna put it into this hand. You tell me what hand the red ball's in. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, here it is. Where is it? This one or this one? 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 Which one? This one, are you sure? Oh my goodness, you guys are pretty good at this. We're gonna try this one last time. Are you ready? Now I'm simply going to take the ball, push it right into this hand so you know it's right here. It's right here. Oh, I'm not gonna show you what's inside my hands this time. I think I've been letting the secret out. What hand is the little red ball in? This one or this one? This one? This one, are you sure? You seem pretty confident. Would you be willing to bet me 2 cookies that the red ball is in this hand right here? All right, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, and... well, that is red, but that's not a ball. That's a cube, or a square times 3. Looks like someone owes Tim the Magician 2 cookies. I'll tell you what. Some of you said it was in this hand. I totally understand, and we made a different little bet on that. 2 cookies if the red ball wasn't in this hand. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. Like I said, there never was a red ball. It's always been a little black ball. So 2 cookies from everyone. And I love cookies. Chocolate chip, I'll even take, let's say, well, oatmeal. I like them all. But here again is the little red ball. Give yourselves a big hand. You guys did a good job on that. And we will put that over there. All right. Now for this next trick, I think I may need an assistant. Let me see if I can find an assistant. I'm going to look out into the crowd. And let's see. Aha! I think I found an assistant. You, sir. Would you please come up here?
Sure.
All right. Turn around, face the crowd. And what is your name? Oh, don't tell me. Let me guess. I'm really good at this. Is it Larry?
No.
No. Is it Bob?
I wish.
You wish you were Bob. All right. Is it Cynthia?
No.
No, that's right. What is your name?
Severin.
Hello, Severin. Everyone say hi to Severin. Now, Severin, do you think you can help me out today? Normally I have more volunteers, but you're going to have to take the place of 2 volunteers. So let's see if you can do that. All right. Now, we're going to do something very special. This is a bag of change. And what makes this a bag of change, well, I'm going to tell you, is that, well, let's see here. Inside, we have a couple of handkerchiefs, all right? Is that your right arm? Good, put your right arm up. Okay, and hold in your right hand, the black hanky. Good. What color hanky does Severin have in his right hand? Excellent, it is a black hanky. Now, Severin, with your left hanky, hold the red hanky. What color red hanky is in Severin's left hand? Red, that's excellent. Remember that, it's very important. And what's another name for a hanky?
Handkerchief.
Handkerchief or a snot rag. Very good. Remember that. It's very important. Now, I will turn this bag of change inside out so you can see a red side and a black side, and both sides have white spots. I'm going to turn this inside right or right side in, and Severin is going to place those hankies in the bag, and they are going to change colors magically. Sound like a goat. All right, hold on right here. Now, with your right hand, Severin, put what color hanky does Severin have in his right hand? Black, that's right. Severin, put your black hanky in the bag. Remember that. Now, Severin, what color hanky is in your left hand? Red. Put your red hanky in, and now we're going to say the magic words. Wave your hand over the bag. Say, hocus pocus, I want a banana.
Hocus pocus, I do want a banana.
Excellent. And now, what color hanky did you have in your right hand, Severin?
Black.
It was black. Well, guess what? It's magically and mysteriously turned red. And in your left hand, didn't we have a red hanky? Well, you'll be amazed, kids, to find out that that hanky has now turned black. And just like that, the hankies have changed colors magically. And I know what you're thinking, but take a look. There's nothing in the bag. You don't seem that impressed. I don't think Severin's impressed. Severin, what do you think? That we just...
I think you just swap the handkerchiefs.
Do you think that look at this face, Severin? This is a very honest face. Do you think I would simply switch the hankies?
Yeah.
Wasn't that obvious? I think it was pretty obvious. Let's try this again, Severin. Now, I'll tell you what. We're going to do this one more time. Here, you hold that right there for a second. I'll be right back. Severin, you are going to need, because you are going to help me this time, we are going to need a magic sorcerer apprentice hat. All right, let me get it in. It's super important that this doesn't fall. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, I will take this bag back, and I'm going to put this hat on your head. Let me come right over here. Good thing this hat is very, very fashionable. All right. Now you've got a magic sorcerer's hat on, and what we need, luckily this hat comes complete, is we need hold on a second. We need, well, let's do this. You put the hankies back in the bag. What color hankies in your right hand?
Red.
We'll put that in there. Remember that, kids? What color hankies in your left hand?
Black.
And now we're going to do this again, but you're going to need a magic wand. Luckily, your hat comes with a magic wand. Now take that magic wand. I want you to wave it over the magic bag and say the magic words. I want a banana.
I want a banana.
Or maybe I want to be a plumber someday. Oh, there's a surprise. Now, what color hanky did you have in your right hand?
Red.
It was red. Well, it's now mysteriously turned black with white spots. And what color hanky did you have in your left hand? It was black. It is now red with white spots. And all the spots in the bag have disappeared except for Spot the dog. And oh my goodness, you must have waved the magic wand over your hat because you turned it into a plunger. Give Severin a big hand. You know, Severin, since you had Spot the dog come out, perhaps you can feed Spot the dog. Now, you stay right here. I have got some of Spot's favorite treats. These are Hearty Chews. All you have to do is just pull the top off for me. Can you get the top off and we can feed this? Oh my goodness! Snakes have come out. I guess we may have changed those magically into little snakes. Everyone give Severin a big hand. Thank you, Severin. I'll give you a round of applause. And remember, next Friday, we're going to have Dr. Seuss stories being read. We'll see you then. Miss you already.